and welcome to another episode of Brand Different. I'm Empress Famira, your creative brand strategist, something like an intuitive empire architect. I'm the founder of Famira Media Group, and I'm also the creator of the Empress Nation movement. I help mission-driven and spirit-led women entrepreneurs, visionaries, and creatives by tapping into my intuition and innovation. I teach them to use the power of infusing soul, strategy, and storytelling to create a brand empire that allows them to create influence, impact, and income, all while being inspiring. And I'm excited about today's episode. I have one of my biz besties in the house with me on today, and her name is Dr. Marilyn Elizabeth Porter, better known as ME. She's a woman who is confidently and intentionally living her purpose, bringing light and wisdom to the world. She makes no apologies for being a woman of unflappable faith and allows her Christianity to shine bright in every arena. And although there are many titles and descriptions that fit her, mommy is one of her most prized accolades. Her God and her children in that order have been the driving forces in her life. She is the CEO of Scattered Brain Genius Enterprises, where she serves as coach, speaker, mentor, and business strategist. And she is just all around amazing. We've been friends on this journey for a very long time, so I'm excited to bring her to you on today. So enough about that. Let's get right into this interview.
Hello, and welcome to Brand Different. I am your host, Famira, your creative brand strategist, and I'm excited about this brand new show that I'm bringing to you on doing things different. I'm speaking to amazing women entrepreneurs. I have one with me tonight, Dr. M.E. Porter.
Yay!
Uh, and I'm excited to have her with us just to really kind of get this conversation started. So if you're not familiar with me, I am also the creator of Empress Nation as well, which is a movement that has taken place really with women that are doing their own thing, that are here to really birth empires. I'm also the founder of Famira Media Group, and so definitely make sure you check us out over there as well. So, but it ain't about me today. We are talking to my sister, and I'm excited. I can't even contain myself.
I know. I'm excited as well. And I'm super, super proud of you for kicking this off. I mean, I remember way back, it seems like 20 years ago when I met you, but I remember when you were standing in that Empress space, right? And I'm so glad to see you come back to that space. So I'm super excited. Starting this show means a lot because I have seen you go full circle. So I'm excited as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, the whole premise of the show for me is really to show entrepreneurs, especially women, to fight against the box, right? Oftentimes we're always placed into the box. The box of motherhood, the box of womanhood, the box of relationships, and then of course the business box, what you're supposed to do, how it's supposed to look, and really just being in this place now of saying enough is enough. I'm not cutter, and I'm ready to be different. And so tell us first of all, let people be familiar with what you do and the whole Scattered Brain Genius.
Oh, I am super excited about that. And so for many people may be familiar with me because I've shown up for many, many years in the spiritual space as the soul shifter, right? I've shown up as the soul shifter. But a few months ago, as I was thinking about and pondering, like, where would I go next in my business? And I'm a very God-centered woman. And so, of course, I go to God and I'm like, what's next? The soul shifter is, that's been established, like, on several continents. It's been established that, I open my mouth, soul shift. We get that. But what's next? Like, what's next? And it came to me a few days after I posed the question. I asked him a question. He returns with the question, and the question was, who are your clients? And I was like, well, kind of, you know, I'm a preacher. I just went down this list. I'm like, well, God, kind of like the world. And he's like, no, who are the people that are drawn to you? What are the characteristics that they have? And I had to think about that. And I said, my clients are me. I am my ideal client, right? And immediately when I said I am my ideal client, scatterbrain genius just like popped out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, because that's what I am. You know what I mean? That's what I am. And, you know, for anybody who doesn't believe that, all they have to do is go scroll through our inbox over the years, where we literally can be having 7 different conversations and responding correctly to each one.
Exactly.
And so I realized that is really who I'm called to. So do I still shift souls? Absolutely. Just showing up as the scatterbrain genius, what that does is it gives my ideal client, it gives those entrepreneurs who need me, it gives them an opportunity to show up in space and not have to feel like they are losing it. Right? So I am the scatterbrain genius's coach. Why? Because I myself am a scatterbrain genius. People often will say, well, you know, do you focus on one thing? And I say, yes, I focus on one thing. That one thing is everything. And so that's who I am. And I love being in this space, because this space right here totally eliminates the box. What box? Who ever heard of a box, right? Because I'm not telling my clients that they have to be just this or just that or just this. You can only do it this way. You can only do it that way. And so I just pinned a forward. I just pinned the forward for a book, for my own book, right? Who writes the forward for their own book? I do, right? Because I get to decide. It's my book. This is what I want to do. And so I wrote in the forward that I was sitting down one day and I was thinking about, well, you know, nobody really does this. This may not be received well. It may be received as a little bit conceited or this or that. And I was taken back to the movie Coming to America, when Hakeem wanted to get married, and the king said, well, this is the way that it's always been done. You know, who am I to change it? And his wife says, well, you're the king. And I thought, yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about being able to make the decisions that, no, you don't need anybody's permission to make them. If you write books and you dance ballet and you play baseball and you ride motorcycles, I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? If that's how you show up in the world, then show up that way. Because if you try to get rid of any of those pieces, you leave yourself incomplete.
Exactly. So, you know, this has been my thing for the longest time.
Yes.
You know, I often talk about how people always tell you, stay in your lane, stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, but I want to own the highway. Like, I don't want to stay in one lane.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
It's a difference between riding in one lane for a while and then deciding, oh, I want to switch lanes.
That's right.
You know, then I gotta stay in this lane always and forever. Like,
absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Talents for that, right?
Absolutely. Because anything that doesn't change, anything that doesn't have the ability to do more than one thing over a period of time, there's no sign of life there. You know what I mean? It's like, that's dead. If you literally, like, if you look at people who, and I'm not picking on anybody's particular profession, but if you look at, let's just say, someone who's been a CPA for 30 years, you know what I mean? And you just look at their life, and sometimes, right, because all they do is get up, they go crunch numbers, they go home, they eat, they go to bed, they shut down their brain so that they can get up and go crunch numbers again. And without incorporating anything else there, the body gets so used to the repetition till it's almost like you're not even living. You're like robotic at that point. And so I just got so tired of seeing people struggle with the whole idea of no one said I can do this. And so I just took it on a whim. I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump on out there and say, I am a scatterbrain genius. I have the capacity, right? Not just the ability, but the capacity to do it all. Yes, I can. Yes, if you have a business, I can help you. Yes, if you need to do marketing, I can help you. Yes, if you need me to write your press release, I can help you. I can do it all. Now, am I making millions of dollars from it all? No. And lots of it I will just do, you know, for people that are in my circle. I'm not marketing those services, but I wanted to be very clear that I have the capacity to do it, and me doing that does not stop me from showing up, you know, in any other arena of my life.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know, so I really, what I always have loved about you too, in regards to everything that you've done, you know, we've been friends for a long time, especially in this entrepreneur space, is that you've never been afraid to be different and to do it different, and to, you know, and to walk to the beat of your own drum and really disrupt business as usual, or disrupt the industries that you are in. And so in this time right now where we're at, I want to hear from you in regards to how important do you feel that disruption is, that for people, entrepreneurs that may be watching, to understand that they don't need to do it as it's always been done, and not be afraid to be a disruptor.
Listen, I am, you know what, my child has had her hands on my laptop. And so I am going to grab my charger so that we don't get cut off. Talk about disruptions, right? Okay. Let me grab this. I should have known in advance. I should have known in advance, so that's my fault for not, okay. All right, yeah, so talk about disruption, right? That was like right on cue. Right? We didn't plan that, y'all. Exactly. But it is the most important thing that you can do. It is equally as important as getting clear on your vision and on your mission. Being able to enter into not just this speaking, coaching, expert arena, and being able to make noise, being able to turn ahead, being able to walk into a room where everybody's a speaker, everybody's a coach, everybody's an entrepreneur, right? But there's something about you that makes, 85% of the room turn their head. It is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, you are your own best marketing and you are your business. And so when I walk into a room, I have an air about me that does not even require me to say words. It does not even require me to say words. And so I'm going to go back to our very first meeting when Famira and I first met, and we've told this story several times, but you all are a new audience, so we're going to tell it again, right? Right, because we get to tell the story if we want to tell the story. But we met at a conference, and it was a women's conference, and it was a business empowerment conference is what I would call it. It was the WIN conference with Patrice Cunningham Washington. And I actually came into, on the first day, there was a little reception and everybody had on their little, dresses and everything. Well, the next day was like the business day. Right. So I roll up in there on the business day, surrounded by women in suits and stilettos with a pair of pink sneakers, some blue jeans, and a t-shirt. And rocked it and felt so comfortable. Like, listen, I'm like, hey, they doing what they do. I'm doing what I do. And something that simple as me being comfortable enough to be among powerful, beautiful, women who are at the top of their game, all the way around. Everybody's at the top of their game. And to walk in that room, and be comfortable, I didn't have to say a word. It was very clear that, okay, we don't know who she is, but by the end of the day, I will know. I don't know right now, but who is this lady that's okay with rolling up in here at the, it was a really nice hotel too.
No, it was a, I would say like
It was a really nice hotel, like the huge Marriott, I think, in downtown Atlanta. But you have to be comfortable enough with yourself to know that it's okay to show up authentically you. Now, this is the key. If everybody just shows up as them and not different pieces of other people, you'll have a room full of absolutely unique, out-of-the-box people. But the problem is everybody's trying to mimic what they see everyone else do. And that is an absolute no-no. Is it okay to look at what somebody else is doing? Absolutely, because let me tell y'all something. I've paid a lot of attention to Famira. I paid a lot of attention to her and her designs and the way she puts colors together and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you're going to know the difference between something that I did and something that Famira did. You just are, because her unique style shows up because she's a designer. Well, me, not so much. I can do it, but it's not I'm not driving completely in that lane, but I will dip over there, so I've paid attention to her enough to know that she has skills and I can learn from her, but I don't want to be her. I don't want to be her. I honor her. I respect who she is as a woman, and I honor and respect who I am as a woman. And so we both get to show up authentically, Marilyn, authentically, Famira, and you get to show up that way too.
Right. Exactly. Inspiration, not duplication. It's
absolutely
completely different. And I feel like a lot of times right now, especially in the online space, there's a lot of duplication that's happening. But then also on the flip side of that, for people that are speaking out against duplication, I still feel like there's a lot of face smacking, almost like, oh, you're just like them, and why are you doing that? Sometimes it's not that someone is duplicating something if that's really what they like, saying, like, I've been hearing a lot when regards to especially when you talk about brand photo shoots and the locations that people are, showing their photos and things that, you always see Miami and you always see Paris. Like, those are
right.
the top places. And it's like, and yeah, after a while that gets boring on some level, but if I'm a person that actually is in love with Miami, like,
that's
is
right.
I really duplicating, or am I really being me? And so at the same time of saying that, I want people to still understand that, there's going to be overlap. There's going to be things that, because that is who you actually are. Like, I'm a beach person, so y'all might see some photo shoots in Miami,
right.
type of thing, right?
Right. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing about duplication. We can look at big brands. We can look at big brands and we can see that technically, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So McDonald's makes a hamburger, Burger King makes a hamburger, Wendy's makes a hamburger, Sonic's makes everybody's making a hamburger, right? But everybody's changing one thing.
Right.
And the minute you change that one thing and make it you specific, you take yourself out of the arena of duplicating. There's only so many words in the English language. So sometimes somebody's going to think the same exact sequence of words. That's just is what it is. There's only so many colors in the crayon box. So somebody's going to have your same exact brand colors. Right. There's only so many styles of fonts. So somebody's going to have that same font. The trick to this thing is to always infuse yourself. You got to always infuse yourself into this thing, and that takes you off of the duplication, that takes you off of that wheel. Someone said to me the other day that I do a customized journal, right? I make customized journals in my publishing company. I do customized journals. And she asked me to do something for her, and I said that that I couldn't do it. And she said, but you just said that you do this. Now, in terms of how that falls into duplication, is what she was saying to me, well, if you do it for yourself that way, why can't you do it exactly the same way for me? And I'm like, because I'm doing it for me. You got to figure out how to do. I'm not going to give you my exact secret to how I'm doing it. You can do it. You just got to do it your way. You don't want to do it my way. I figured out that way. And it's not something it's not a master class or anything that I'm teaching. So why do you want to show up exactly like me? Why? Right. So I said, listen, go ahead and do it. But you can't, I'm not going to tell you the way I did it, because that will be doing you a disservice. Right. I want you to do it the way that you come up with it. So that if that means adding different colors, if that means a different size paper, whatever that means, you have to do that thing the way that it should be done for you.
Right. I think that a lot of times too, and love to get your feedback on this too, I think a lot of time as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of different factors going on, right? So especially as women entrepreneurs, because, you know, we realize that the reality is that as women entrepreneurs, we do face a different set of challenges a lot of times than our male counterparts. And so what I find is that a lot of women are struggling with their voice, their authentic voice of who they are.
Yes.
And I'm not talking tone. There's a lot of loud women. There's a lot of
that ain't saying nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of meek women that are saying profound things, right? Yep. But really harnessing and knowing their own voice and really tapping into their message, I personally feel is kind of the root to this whole problem of people not being able to show up authentically as themselves, because you can't know yourself and then not be able to express yourself, and vice versa, right? You can't express yourself if you don't know yourself. And so, you know, I know this gets into some of the soul shifting side.
Oh my goodness. You're absolutely right. And so as you were talking, this is what I was thinking. I was like, you shouldn't have put that question out there, because now you don't need to have another show. This is going to be like your last show, right? Because we just solved the whole problem. But you're absolutely right. There are so many people. Number one, and I know that they say that necessity is the mother of invention, right? But so many people are in this entrepreneur space right now, not because they love this space, not because they want to be entrepreneurs, but because the bills need to be paid. And this is like, it seems like, hey, let me jump online, let me make a couple flyers, let me say I do this, let me say I can do that, let me say some stuff that can't nobody really check my facts. You know what I mean? Kind of like going to the doctor saying that your back hurt. There's really no way for them to prove whether or not your back hurts or not.
Right.
But they're jumping into this space because their kids are hungry. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. But it's not that kind of space. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of space that you can just jump in it just to make a couple of dollars, because the amount of energy and the amount of transparency and you have to put so much of yourself into it, that if you jump into this space and you have nothing, meaning you don't know your voice, you don't know your why, you have no understanding of even what's really going on. A lot of people playing in this arena right here, and you're not really sure what's going on. All you see is people making posts that say things like, I just had my first 6-figure month. I'm slated to make, $1.2 million this year. So you're thinking, oh my God, all I have to do is get a coaching certification. Well, some people you can get a coaching certification in a day. You know what I mean? That does not make you a coach.
Exactly.
That does not make you a coach. And so the problem is so many people are in this particular space. I'm talking coaches, speakers, experts, gurus. So many people are in this space and they don't really know if I am a coach, even if I am really a coach. I don't even know what kind of coach. You know what I mean? I don't even really know. I know how to have a conversation, but I don't even know what I'm really good at. Like I knew coming in the door that I am good at quickly. Like I have this thing now that called Meet Me in 5, where I literally get on the phone with somebody and in 5 minutes, you're going to know immediately. You're going to know what I think. You're going to know how much I know what you think. And like 5 minutes, because that's all it takes. Because I'm very clear on what I do. I know I can get in your space and get in your face and immediately point out the things in you that you are not seeing in yourself. I am a coach. I am an entrepreneur. I am a mentor. I am someone who easily sees in other people what they don't see in themselves. And I know that. So many people are in this space and they don't even know what kind of coach they are. They don't know what they bring to the table. And so there is no voice. All you really see and all you really hear is the struggle. And they don't know that the struggle shows up. They don't know it. They think that they're out there, gallivanting around and then got, somebody on Fiverr to make them some flyers. They don't know that us, the ones that have been in the game for a minute, they don't know that we see the struggle. They don't know that. So no, they don't have voice. They don't have direction. They don't have a real knowledge or understanding of even what's going on. They haven't even really followed another coach or another speaker or another guru or another expert. So they don't even know, they don't know how to show up. And if they did, like if they had a voice, they wouldn't even know how to get that voice into the conversation because there's so much misunderstanding going on about this particular space.
Right. So true. And then, of course it is definitely, I think compounded too by, unfortunately, coaches that are looking to make little duplicates because it makes them feel.
Oh, yes.
Right. And so then you have this person that doesn't know themselves and then they get hooked up with this coach that wants mini me's. And
that's right.
That's how, you end up with this whole army of robots. Robot brands is what I call them, in this space because it's, you put those two things together and it's like, oh, okay, I don't know. So I'm going to follow you and do
right.
What you do.
Right. And I think we've seen that. I won't mention names, but we've seen that play out like in a big arena this year. Right. We've seen that. We've seen that play out. So, you're absolutely right. But this is my opinion. And I don't know if this may rub a couple of people the wrong way. I'm okay with that too. But I feel like coaches who are trying to duplicate themselves, that's not a coach, that's a dictator.
Right?
And I am a firm believer, and I will tell everybody this, your gifts and your anointings cannot be coached. And so when you come up on people who try to coach you out of your natural self, run.
Right.
Run. Absolutely run, because you don't want to be a duplicate of anybody.
Right.
And you do not want to be a duplicate of anybody. Is it okay to admire and to aspire to have a level of success and knowledge and wisdom and understanding and bank account of somebody? It's okay to aspire to that, but to covet it, to want to be like exactly what that is, it's not healthy. And you just never know what can come from that situation. Some really some dangerous things can come about in those type of situations. I don't know why, but my mind is thinking like single white female right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And definitely on both sides, right? For not only the new brand that's trying to get started, but then
that's right.
The one that
that's right.
Want this, right?
That's right.
you could, because you end up seeing that happening as well. So okay, so we can always go on and on and on forever and ever, but I do want to get to a couple more questions. I have about three more questions that I know I definitely want to get
Okay.
into what we're talking about. So we've been talking a little bit about disruption,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big thing for me, because I really feel like right now there is almost kind of like the remnant that is happening in the entrepreneur space that is saying, you know what, at the end of the day, enough is enough. And
Yes.
it's no longer time to do business as usual, because there's actually lives that need to be impacted.
That's right.
That need to be changed. So when you hear the word disruption, what does that mean to you?
When I hear the word disruption, in my mind, I immediately see what I call tearing down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I immediately think of walking into any space, right? And tearing down all of the things that tell you that you have to be this or you have to be that. I immediately think of like war, like just ripping stuff down, like walking through like a giant, like feed 5 4 from, and literally ripping stuff out of the atmosphere and making space for the noise, right?
Right.
We have to make room for the noise. We know that sound is vibrations. We gotta make room for the sound to resonate and to vibrate in this space. And without disruption, again, I said, we die. But when I think, and what I mean die in the sense of being stagnant, in the sense of being stale, in the sense of nothing's being new. And so you find yourself in a space where you're not getting new ideas and you're not being creative anymore. And you know what I mean? And so your passion starts to fizzle out and you don't know why, but it's because it's like when somebody's falling asleep. When somebody's falling asleep and you kind of see them doing this and you shake them, right? That's the disruption. That's the disruption. Like, woo! So you have to jar the senses. So you have to tear down all of the stuff that causes your mind and your body and all of your senses to kind of start dozing off. So I think of like just ripping all that stuff out of the atmosphere and replacing it with noise, and like wake up, like you said. The disruption is the thing that is necessary to really save people's lives and change people's lives, because I don't care if you're a business coach, I don't care if you're a speaker, I don't care if you're an author, I don't care if you're just an expert. You never know what words you're going to say that are going to totally change or save somebody's life. And that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the boring, mundane, everyday status quo. Why? Because ain't nobody gonna pay attention long enough for you to save a life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I think when I hear the word disruption.
Awesome. So, it's always funny because it's always when we have these conversations, I'll be like, yeah, that's it. Because I always speak my thoughts when it comes to that. Because for me, the very first thing I think of when I think of the word disruption is the wrecking ball.
Yes.
Construction site.
Yes, that's right. Rip it, tear it down. Yeah.
Dust that.
Absolutely.
And start building this new building, right? This new thing. So
absolutely.
So that's what I want this. I already know that there's going to be a lot of people that this show is going to be that disruption.
Ooh, yes.
And that's what that's what it's about. So it took me a while to be like, I really wanted to do this. I've always really wanted to do it, but to actually come out with it, because anytime you are looking to disrupt the norm, or you are looking to go against the tide, it is that level of
resistance.
Exactly.
Resistance.
What is going to happen, with that? So for people that are probably watching this, that maybe they're in the resistance, they know that they want to do something different, that they're not, to do it as their industry dictates. What do you tell that person?
I simply ask that person a question. I just asked someone this yesterday. I just asked someone, a potential client. I'm tickled because I literally just asked her. So I don't particularly have a statement. I have a question, and my question is, do you want to eat? That was my question to her. As an entrepreneur, do you want to eat? And she said, well, what if it's not all about money for you? I said, if it's not about money for you, you're not an entrepreneur, right? Because there has to be some money in there somewhere. I said, but I'm not even really talking about the money, like dollars and cents. This is what I'm talking about. The stuff that's inside of you, if you give it to the people that it belongs to, that's sustains yourself. What's in of you to the people that it belongs to, you thereby sustain yourself, whether that be cash money, whether that be people giving you gifts, whether that be, somebody giving you a car, giving you a house. By freely giving to others the things that God has put into you to sustain them, that's how you eat. That's how you sustain yourself. So if you want to sustain yourself, you got to get to it. You got to get to it. And she was like, I never thought of it that way. And I said, well, there's a lot of things that I think, there's a lot of things that I will probably say to you, that there are some other coaches that are probably saying exactly the opposite of what I would say. But nah, if you want to eat, you have to be willing to put it all out there. You got to be willing to put it all out there.
Right. Oh, yes. So true. So with that, I want to ask you, Miss Scatterbrain Genius Coach, what is your message to the world?
My message to the world is, in layman's terms, get your mind right. That's my message to the world in layman terms. Get your mind right. However, Sunday morning or Bible study or something like that, I would probably say something like, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. My message to the world, my clients, anyone who hears, to anyone who reads a book, who catches a book live, is all starts right here. The shift has to happen here. Bank accounts don't shift, relations don't shift. Nothing else shifts if you don't get your mind right. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is my message to the world.
Yes. Love it. And it really is. So I love this because, for me, this is like conversation with my friends. And so I know what their message is. But still, I get excited hearing you verbalize it, right? And you sharing it. And so at the end of the day, how is it that you, Dr. M.E. Porter, the Scatterbrain Genius Coach, how is it that you brand different?
I believe because I've learned from some really cool people. I think that I brand differently because I am willing to. My branding is truth. Right? That is literally, my branding is truth. My branding is like everything that I say, everywhere that I show up, I literally show up willing to be the one to say and do the thing that nobody else would do. So the reality is that truth is my brand. And I hate to say it, but amid a ocean of fakes and phonies, showing up as the truth giver, it definitely sets me apart. It also makes me a target, but it definitely sets me apart. And so truth is really, that's my brand. And it took me, I think I really just came up with that about 6 months ago, that my brand is really truth. that's what I stand on, and that's what I show up as. And I'm not lying. I'm not saying, that I got 1 million clients and that I'm making, 7 figures. I'm not saying all of that. And this is the cool thing. People think it, but not because I'm saying it.
Right. Exactly.
But it's not because I'm saying it. And so I make it a point. I make it a point when I am addressed as such, I make it very clear. But the bottom line is, I am a truth teller. I am a truth seeker. I am a truth giver. And that is what my whole entire brand is built on. Now, I'm going to tell you this really, really quick. I know we over time, but I got to tell you this. In my last book, honestly, someone asked me to do something that nobody else in the whole world would have known about. Nobody. Just me and the person that asked me to do it. I couldn't do it. And it was literally like writing like 3 words. And the reason that I couldn't do it is because I realized that my entire company, my entire brand, everything that I say that I am would be at stake, even if nobody else knew except for me. And so when I say that I brand differently, because that's real. That's real.
Wow, it is real, y'all. So if you're looking for a coach, don't go to her if you ain't looking for the truth, because she ain't the one. She ain't the one. She ain't the one you need. if you're looking for
that's hilarious.
looking for somebody just to tell you everything you want to hear, not the one.
Nah, I'm not the one.
She's definitely about sharing the truth with you. This has been just as wonderful as I knew that it would be, having this conversation with you. And I'm excited to see where things continue to grow and go for you, especially walking in this new this new direction. I'll say it's not really anything new in
right.
work that you're doing, but the way that you're showing up in this way, and owning that message of the scatterbrain genius. I when you sent it to me, I was like,
yeah.
So I'm excited to see it continue to grow, and really to see the women and men that you are setting free from feeling like they have to be this one thing. So
absolutely,
I'm really excited about that. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Brand Different. I'm so honored. For me, it's never taken for granted, even though we have our personal relationship and that we are friends. I also know that you're busy. I also know that you have a million other places that you could be, so I appreciate you really taking the time to be here with me on this show. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And I don't take it for granted either. I don't take, anytime you bring me to any platform that you build, I'm always excited and I'm always honored. Everybody might not know how the whole Famera thing is going to go down, but I know, there are a few superstars in the world that can rock one name.
Yes.
And y'all are looking at one of them.
Thank you for that. Yes. So definitely let everybody know, where can they find you at, and how can they get connected with you if they need some of your scatterbrain genius?
Well, they can definitely go to the eReal Estate, which is simply www.thescatterbrainedgenius.com. I love the new website. I love the colors. It's very, it's me. It's very, very me. And so you can definitely go there. But I also am on Facebook at the Scatterbrain Genius Coach. I'm on Twitter at the SBG Coach. I believe I'm on Instagram at Coach M.E. Porter, but I'm always around on Facebook. So if you ever need me, I'm on the mini chat now. Y'all know now, see, Famara and I have been doing business in the inbox for years, right? But now they have actually created an app called Mini Chat. And so you can definitely subscribe to my inbox, and anytime I send out messages, you will get the message in your inbox. And that is really now at this stage, that's kind of like the best way to stay, it's the best way to stay up to date, is to just get those inbox messages. And so yeah, I am around, but I just want you to go look at the website.
Yeah.
Just go look at the website. It's just so fun. Just go look at it. Go check it out.
Awesome. So you can check wherever you're watching this video, down there, up there, to the side, wherever it's at. You'll see all of her information so that you can check out the website and stay connected with her. And we will see you back here again next week for another episode of Brand Different, when we bring yet another entrepreneur to the stage that is doing things differently and going to the beat of their own drum, because there is no box. We are eradicating the box. So until next time, I am Famara, your creative brand strategist, and you can find me at www.famara, that's F as in fabulous, AMIRA, green just like the color, .com. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.